Hi guys, it's Chrissie and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be doing one of the apartment condos for my Magnolia Condo complex that I built last week. And this is going to be going up instead of my usual apartment build today. But I thought it would be just nice to post something different, and it is actually still, you know, considered an apartment. It's not a freestanding house, but anyway, it's a bit bigger than a regular apartment. But yeah, now for this this is one of the condos in the building that I built, and it's one of the four condos in the complex, and this is actually the one bedroom one, and it just has one bedroom and one bathroom. So I had a couple in mind for this apartment when I built it. And the couple that I had in mind, I actually got the idea for them from my mom, and I got the idea to create an apartment for a new age couple. Now, I don't know if a lot of you guys know what that means, but what she meant by when she said new age, she meant a couple that's into crystals and plants, and you know, they're very spiritual people. They're into plants and eating healthy, and you know, they believe in the power of crystals and stuff like that. So I did add in a lot of crystals into this apartment. I also added in a lot of plants, and I gave the apartment an overall just calming feel, a calming color scheme and stuff like that, but I'll talk about that a little bit more once we get into it a bit further. But you'll see that I've already done the flooring and the wallpaper, just plain white wallpaper for all of the condos, and I did that in the building of in the video where I showed how I built the outside of this complex. And yeah, I just wanted them all to have, you know, the same flooring and stuff like that. But I will be adding some accent walls to all of the apartments just to make them a bit unique, since I thought the families that live in these apartments, they own their apartments, so they are allowed to, you know, change some of the walls and change some of the wallpapers and stuff like that. That, you know, they're not allowed to break through the shared wall with their neighbors next door, but you know, they can add some walls into their apartment and stuff like that. But yeah, now this couple, as I said, I thought I would be very into crystals and stuff like that. So you'll see me now adding a lot of crystals into the living room. And since this apartment is a 3-level apartment, on the, I guess you call it this first floor, where you walk in is the living room and a guest bathroom. On the bottom floor in the basement, I actually added in the kitchen and dining room, and that also access the patio area from the basement floor. And on the second floor is the bedroom and the main bathroom, and you know, a hallway that I kind of turned into a little bit of a study area with a computer and stuff, but we haven't gotten there yet, so I won't talk about that too much. But yeah, as I said, I wanted this apartment to have a very calming color scheme, so I sticked with a lot of whites and light bright colors and light woods and blues. I added in a lot of blue in this apartment, and I also added some, I don't know what you would call it, some dusty pink wallpapers, wall paint, just as some accent wall colors. But yeah, I really love how this apartment turned out. I'm actually very obsessed with it. I don't really know why, but I am, and I used some of those lights that came on from the fitness stuff pack, the hanging lights, the hanging chandeliers, and the wall lights that kind of look like rocks, and I played around with them a little, and I used them more as decoration than actual lighting, but I think they look great in this apartment. And yeah, you'll see as we've moved onto the second floor, and we're working on the hallway right now, and you'll see me, I just played a bit with those lights, and I wanted them to add light, but I also thought they added something interesting to the decoration part of the build. Now, as I said, this couple is very into plants, so I wanted to add as much plants into their house on the inside as possible. And I did try and use the plants that came with the Jungle Adventures game pack, but the hanging ones sized down really weirdly. They left a really weird shadow when you place them indoors and you've sized them down, so I just went with those regular wall climbing plants, and I added some lattices to make it look more interesting. And yeah, I added a lot of clutter to this apartment as well, especially in the living room and in the kitchen and in the bedroom. I played around a lot with the clutter, and I just had fun building this. I didn't try and rush it or anything, so yeah, I really like how this apartment turned out. Now, I thought this couple would have lived here for years, so when we get to the outside, to their patio, I don't know what you would call it since it's sunken into the ground. It's technically on the basement level, but it is open to, the sky, and it's completely open, but it's in the basement. So I don't really know what you would call it. Would you call it the patio? I'm just going to call it the patio, since I can't really call it a garden, since it's not actually on the ground, it's in the ground. But yeah, I'm just going to call it the patio. Now, I thought they would have lived here for years, so that's why when we get to their patio, I'm going to be adding a lot of wall climbing plants and, plants that look like they've grown there, and they're not just placed there. They look like they've actually grown up the wall and, grown bigger and basically just taken over all of the wall space. But yeah, you'll see me adding in the light pinkish color that I talked about, and I also used that, I don't know if it's blue or teal blue or something like that, but I love that color, and I used that as well for another accent wall. And we've actually moved on to the master bedroom, the only bedroom in the house. And yeah, I really like how this bedroom turned out. It looks so, I don't know, relaxing and comfortable and stuff like that. But yeah, you'll have to excuse me if my voice goes out a bit. I'm recording this right after I did the voiceover for the outside of this complex, the build part. And as I said in that video, I am a bit sick at the moment, so my voice is a bit hoarse, and I'm hoping I'm not going to lose it and that it's not going to get worse. But yeah, so just excuse me if my voice goes a bit funky. But yeah, this is a bit of a longer apartment video, since I'm not building the outside. You wouldn't expect it to be this long. But I didn't want to speed it up too much. I only sped it up about 5 times, and I actually kept everything in. Usually I would cut out doing the wallpapers and doing the bathrooms and stuff like that, but since I didn't actually do the wallpapers, I just added a bit to them. And yeah, I thought I would keep it in anyway, and honestly I just couldn't be bothered to edit it out. I couldn't be bothered to edit out the footage of the bathrooms and stuff like that, since, I don't know, I just didn't want to, and I thought I'd give it a shot at, I'd have a shot at doing a bit of a longer voiceover for once, but I don't know how that's going to turn out, since I'm already out of things to say, and we have about 7 minutes left to go on this video, on this voiceover. But yeah, I played a lot with mirrors. That's something that I just now noticed while I was watching this back. I played a lot with mirrors in this apartment, and I used a lot of mirrors. I used mirrors in obviously all of the bathrooms, but I used mirrors in the living room and basically in every room in this house, now that I come to think about it. Yeah, I used them in the living room, I used them in the hallway, I used a lot of mirrors in the bedroom, I used a lot of mirrors in the kitchen as well. I actually, I finished this build, and then I went to take the screenshots, and I saw that I actually put no clutter in the kitchen whatsoever. I mean, I didn't even put in a sink. I didn't put in a microwave, anything like that. I completely forgot about that. And I also forgot about the upstairs balcony on the second floor, so I went back in and I added just a few more clutter objects around the place, a few paintings, and also added obviously things on the balcony and stuff in the kitchen as well. I have no idea how I missed that, but I just got distracted with something else in the build that I wanted to do. But yeah, now I'm actually going to be putting a mirrored backsplash on the whole wall behind the counters, on both of those walls behind the counters in the kitchen. And I really like how that turned out. I don't do that too often, because it's really annoying when you play with the walls half down or all the way down. When you try and put the walls down, but obviously the mirrors won't go down with the walls, so you can't really see very well most of the time. But I found that since we're actually in a basement, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if the walls can go all the way down, because you're not going to actually miss anything on the other side, since it is just black nothingness. So yeah, so you won't miss anything with the mirrors there if you try and put the walls down. But yeah, here we're moving on to putting the mirrors in, and I don't know why I didn't remember to add in the extra things like the sink and the microwave and stuff right here. I have no idea why I forgot that. But my mind has been all over the place today. But yeah, I didn't really know which paintings to use in this apartment, since the ones that I usually use, that are my favorites, are very, I don't know if you would call it traditional, but I guess some of them are modern, but they all have such vibrant colors that I didn't want to put them in this apartment, because they didn't have the right, blues and more cooler colors that I went for in this apartment. So I had a really tough time finding paintings and wall decorations that fit with this, but at the end I found a few that I liked. And yeah, I'm just playing around with the rugs in the kitchen. I had a lot of fun doing this. I've been having a lot of fun recently just playing with rugs and layering them and sizing them down and sizing them up, and just creating my own rug patterns out of the rugs that we have. And yeah, now we're moving on to the little patio area. At first I wanted to build a regular tree in there, but then I decided to go into debug and use the new avocado tree that we got with Jungle Adventures. I actually love avocados in real life, so I was so happy when I saw that they added that into the pack. And yeah, here we're adding in those flowers that I said that looked like they grew on the wall, that they actually grew that high over the years and stuff like that. And eventually we add in a lot more wall plants behind them as well, so that whole wall is basically just plants. And yeah, here I found, you see that piece, the big piece that's basically a combination of the three that we have. That's actually visible when you put on show hidden objects, and I never knew that it came in a piece like that they came all together like that in a separate piece. But I really like that, and I use that on the outside. And yeah, as I said, this patio is very overgrown. There are a lot of plants and a lot of greenery, but I thought that suited this family perfectly. And of course I had to add in some yoga mats and some meditation stools and stuff like that. And this house has a lot of candles in it. A lot of candles. I mean, there's candles in literally every single room. In every single room of this house. And I wanted the lighting to be very soft, and I usually go for the bright white lighting that you can change the lighting settings in the game of the lights in your house, but I usually go for the plain white bright color. But this time I went for the off-white. It's not completely yellow, but it's a bit, I don't know, softer than the usual white. And yeah, I'm just playing with some of those I don't know what you'd call them, lattices, and I wanted to add some more plants there to hide the foundation color a bit, since I really hate that we can't paint foundations like we could in The Sims 3. You know, we could paint the foundation the same color as the wall above it. In The Sims 3 we could paint it with just regular wallpapers, but in The Sims 4 you can't do that. You have to use the foundation colors that they give you, and I really hate that. It is so annoying when you want to do things like this where you want to make cutouts into the foundation. But yeah, anyway, I'm just looking at the timeline right now and we're almost to the end of the video. So I hope you guys like this apartment, and as I said, if you have any ideas for the rest of the apartments, they're all 2-bedroom apartments, so I just want to tell you guys that. They're all 2-bedroom apartments, so if you have any ideas for families for them, or just a regular theme for them, just a broad theme for them, or anything like that, please leave that in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your guys' ideas, and I hope you have a great day and that you like this build. And it's not up on the gallery yet, but it will be up on the gallery once I've finished all of the apartments. And yeah, give this video a like and a comment and subscribe if you're new, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Bye guys!